Hi, everybody. Welcome back on the Maroon Devils Network. It is Coach Sherman Holt time as we get to talk some Maroon Devil football, as you hear just about every year, especially for some of the teams who are struggling. Hey, it's playoff season. The season is starting over. Everybody is 0-0, 0-0, if you will, Coach. But our Maroon Devils, the tradition has always been, hey, we want to be a playoff team. We're always in the playoffs, and we always want to keep playing after Thanksgiving, and more about that as we continue. But, Coach, let's go back and talk a little bit about Robbinsville. I know that was a tough ball game. Both teams just, I think, played really hard. Both teams were very physical. Just an outstanding game, and unfortunately, one team had to come out on the short end.
Yeah, you go back and you watch film, and, kids played hard on both sides for us and for Robbinsville. And, probably go back 4 or 5, maybe 6 plays is what probably determined the outcome of that game. And so, just got to go back and, like the golfers say, tee it up again and hit it. So we had a real good week of practice this week. Kids come in on Monday, and it was a good feeling that they were, not comfortable with losing, and that's what you don't never want to get to, is be satisfied with losing. And so our kids were kind of, they were frustrated, they were a little mad. It was a heartbreaking loss, and so our kids come back Monday, and they had a real good attitude, and we went to work and getting ready for Avery. Yeah.
And, Coach, that was kind of my next question. I was going to ask you, what was the attitude in the locker room after the game? Because, we had run the table. We were 9-0, undefeated, and suffering our first loss. So how was that locker room after the ball game Friday?
Well, of course, there wasn't no excitement. It was kind of a somber time, and our kids put a lot into it, and we had played very well. Played a hard-fought game, and so it wasn't like you went into that game and you didn't play well. We had some really good plays. We had some really good things that we took away from it. Yeah. And the biggest thing is knowing that one game can't define you. Right. And that's what we kind of said at the end. I told them, anybody, there's a lot of teams in the country that would love to be in our shoes. Oh, yeah. We finished the regular season with 9-1 record, and you can't be disappointed in the whole body of work. You can be disappointed that night and that outcome, but the good thing is like you said, it's a new season, playoff time in Swain County, and it means a little bit more when you play these games. And so, but it was just kind of I'm not going to say, I don't want to say sad, but it was just a moment which our team was hit with a challenge, and I think they have responded well in practice this week, and still got things to work on, still want to continue to get better at football, and that's what happens when two really good football teams play. One of them's going to lose, one of them's going to win. We'd have loved to have been on the other side of it, but we get to live to play another day, and so that's the good thing and the bright spot coming out of that.
Yeah, Coach, that was a very physical game. Both teams, and it happens every year in the top teams with the Smoky Mountain Conference. They are always just really physical. Our guys beat up pretty bad. I know sometimes those games you can have some devastating injuries. How are our guys physically coming out of that contest?
Well, no, nobody got hurt for us. We're pretty good health-wise, as healthy as you can be going into the first week of the playoffs. Very physical game, and the good thing is our kids responded well to Robbinsville's physicality and the way they played and our style of football, and so. If you find bright points in a loss, is the grit and the determination that our kids had and the physicality that they played with, and it was down to the last couple of snaps right there, and so if you find anything, you always want to find good things, you want to find bad things that you can work on, clean up, but for the most part, still proud of our kids. They played a hard-fought game. We never give up, and so that's things that you can build on. And, against a good team, we're going to see teams like them in the playoffs, and so it's just one of those things that gets you ready for this late season run that begins tomorrow night.
Oh, no doubt. Fans, as we always talk about every week, we have some people we want to thank, and as we get into this new season, so to speak, with the playoffs coming up, Coach, I know there are people that have really helped you along the way, and I think they're excited with the playoffs coming up, and hopefully people will step up and help us even more.
Yeah, so this week we want to thank Mamaw Gail and Brian Fresh Hour. They fed our kids on Tuesday. We had hot dogs and baked beans and coleslaw, had kind of a cookout type deal, and they provided the hot dogs and the buns for that, and our parents cooked it. And then Wednesday, Granny's Kitchen fed our team, and so they really enjoyed that. And then tonight, for our Thursday meal, our parents are just going to cook a good old-fashioned home-cooked meal. And so, just again, we appreciate everybody, the individuals, the businesses, the parents, our school, our cafeteria, again, fed us on Monday after practice like they normally do. And so, just want to thank those people that go above and beyond, go out of their way to make sure our kids are took care of, and they care so much about our kids, and we just thank them and can never say enough about the support that we have here in Swain County.
Oh, no doubt. Fans, as you know, as we've been talking about here on the program this week, it's playoff time. We have 64 teams in our 1A bracket, 32 in the West, 32 in the East. Coach, our first game, good thing is we're playing here at home at Swain County Memorial Stadium and Boy Steets Field right behind us. Avery County coming to town. We've played them before. We've been to their place. They've been to our place. So, hey, it's time to put on a new face and get ready for the playoffs, because it kind of is. It's a new chapter. We're playing teams we haven't seen before, so this is really a rewarding time of the year for these players who have put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah, we kind of told our kids Monday, being a new season, it don't matter that we won 9 games.
Right.
It don't matter that we lost a game, and that's for any team. It don't matter how many you win, how many you lose in the regular season. You just want to win one week at a time in the playoffs. And our challenge to them was, let's make sure we're practicing on Monday, for the next week. And so it's just that feel, and you always like being at home, especially in Swain County. We have a good fan base, and our kids are always excited to play at home in front of our fans. And so looking forward to it. Avery County, they're well coached. They've got some kids that are very athletic, and so that they present some challenges to you. Defensively for us, we got to be very disciplined in what we do and how we do it. Offensively, our goal this week and challenge to them was, let's go be more productive on the scoreboard, be more efficient, cash in on those drives. And so it's just a good time. It's exciting for our kids. It's exciting for everybody across the state, because when you're playing playoff football, it just means just a little bit more, I think, and not that you don't want to win all those games in the regular season, but this season is it's like we say, it's ring games every week. You're playing for a state championship every week. You want to survive and advance, and so that's what we've kind of focused on this week in practice.
Yeah. Fans, as you know, Avery County is out of that Western Highlands Conference, and I think it's one of the tougher conferences in the state. They're a 2A, 1A conference, and the tough thing is, especially for Avery County, the best teams in that conference this year were the 1A schools. You're talking about Mountain Heritage, you're talking about Mitchell, you're talking about Drawn. They are all top 15 seeds in the 1A playoffs, and then Avery County, of course, struggling somewhat. I think they're 2-4 in the conference, 4-6 overall. Coach, looking at them on film, interesting team. They averaged 200 yards a game offensively, 116 through the air, 84 on the ground. So another interesting point, they used 2 different quarterbacks, and their stats are almost identical. They've both thrown over 100 balls and completed just under 50% of those passes. They got number 7, Logan Brown, their running back. So what are you seeing on film out of this Avery County team from a very tough conference up there?
Well, the thing that I see is I see their kids execute very well in the passing game. They find open spots, and they just go to grass, and they've got a couple skilled kids that are very athletic, and so it's one of those things where, you know, for us defensively, we got to be real good in the back end. We got to be real good on the outside. Got to get a good rush from our D lineman, and maybe if we send a linebacker or something. But it's one of those things that you want to try to limit the big play. You know, you watch them on film, and they make a lot of big plays that you think, oh, they're going to make it, they're going to get sacked or they're going to get tackled right there, and then they just bust out of it and rip off a big one. So it's just it's one of those things where defensively, you know, we're going to have to be at the top of our game. And then, you know, for us offensively, watching their defense, you know, they got a couple really good linebackers that have a knack for the football, a couple guys that play D-line that are very physical and big kids, you know. And so it's just going to be one of those things that if we can execute at a high level on both sides of the football, don't give up the big play defensively. Try to create some momentum in the kicking game. I think that'll be big for us. And so that's been our plan this week, just trying to get better at football. And the good teams can continue to get better week to week. And that's what our challenge is this week, just to get better.
Coach, as you mentioned, good to be here at home this Friday night. Our fans are going to be playing a big role in that, obviously, because, wow, we saw what fans could do last week. That place was packed. There was not a seat in the house on either side. All the way around the fence, it was packed. So, hey, we need that kind of atmosphere on our side of the field this Friday, don't we?
Yeah, it's important. You know, for one, the kids worked extremely hard, and, you know, it's a way that you can kind of pay tribute to the kids that's worked hard and are playing. And so just come support these kids. They've done a real good job of representing our school and our community and our county very well. And so just we would love to have as many Maroon Devil fans as we can at Memorial Stadium. And so it's big. Anytime you can have a good fan base and create home field advantage, it always makes it tougher for your opponent, I think.
Yeah. Coach, weather is, you know, this week we've seen a crazy week. I think last Friday night it was really warm at Robbinsville. We had 80-degree weather over the weekend. Well, hey, we saw some 20s this week, so it's starting to feel a little more like football, isn't it, with this weather change?
Yeah, you know, you like it when it cools down a little bit. You know, it's a little bit easier for our kids. You know, they would rather have a little bit cooler weather than the hot weather. It's just easier on them to play, and you know, it's football weather. Yeah, you know, and when you're sweating watching a football game, you know, that's not very pleasing. And so bring you a blanket, bring you a sweatshirt, bring you a jacket. I'm sure they're going to sell hot chocolate at the concession stand, but it's going to be a good night for some playoff football here in Swain County.
Oh, no doubt. Fans, stay tuned. We've got kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. This is a brand new season. Everybody starting over 0-0, 1 week at a time. You can't look down the road at all. It's all about playoff football, and we're proud to be here with Coach Holt and joining you on the Maroon Devils Network.